Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. And for all you Audie fans, yes, he's right here with me. I'm not sure. He doesn't seem to be settling in. I'm not sure exactly. Okay. All right, here. Let me get you up here. There. Okay, you happy now? All right, a little. Yes. Audie, as I imagine you may have guessed, probably from the moment I told you that we are back in the cat food wars, Audie is winning, and he is gloating. So, yeah, he's very pleased with himself. He's getting his old cat food back, mostly because I know, all right, yes, okay. I know, I love you too. You're naughty, but I love you. He's getting his old cat food back. It was making him sick. He was throwing up all the time. He's not throwing up now. I wonder if he does it on purpose, because once he gets his cat food back, he won't throw up. You know, it's like he gets the cat food and it's like, okay, fine, I'm happy with this. I want to keep this. And then he's good for a while. And then after a while, he starts yakking the cat food up everywhere. And then I take it away from him. Oh, you know, cat food wars again. Try to get him on something that's easier on his tummy. And eventually he just trenches in, and it's like, feed me what I want, or they'll be held to pay. So I relent, and then we just go through the cycle all over again. So yes, he is winning. He is gloating. Yes, okay. Yes, all right. Yes. Okay. Okay. But he's still naughty as he is, and he is a naughty cat. He is still probably the most affectionate cat I have ever had in my life. So I'm willing to forgive him. Do you want to turn around and let everybody see what a naughty cat looks like? Oh, come on. They don't know because they've never seen a kitty quite as naughty as you. So why don't you just turn around and let them see your little cat face? He's abandoned me. I guess I finally insulted him more than he could bear. All right, we're going to take a quick look at the intro, and we will be right back. So, my bad boy is outside enjoying the warm weather. It's been raining, but it's been warm. Now, in my experience, and I've only been in this area for maybe 20 years, it just goes straight from winter to summer, and within the space of a week or two, we are going from temperatures below 30. A couple of days ago, it was something like 25 degrees overnight, and space of 2 weeks, we're going to be up into the 70s. That's just my experience of this area, and I kind of miss the long spring and fall seasons that we had in Massachusetts, but hey, it is what it is. And Audie is happy that, at least as far as he's concerned, winter is over. So we'll see how long this lasts. If he starts screaming, I will go out and let him back in again. So, the latest addition to my collection of university sweatshirts is here, and this is Miskatonic University, Arkham, Massachusetts. So, let me know in the comments if you're catching this reference, because, yeah, this is not your average university. So anyway, I wanted you to see that just because it was fun. Okay, so what I have been up to lately is a couple of weeks ago, one of our viewers said, I'm having trouble organizing. Let's start doing some videos about this. And I said, yeah. And then, of course, because my mind was on the subject of cleaning and organizing, naturally, I had to start cleaning and organizing. And I decided to start with my bedroom and the bathroom, and they are located right next to each other. That may be why I wanted to do them together. Or the fact is, I could have gotten frustrated with the bedroom and decided, well, the bathroom's a lot smaller, I'll tackle that first. But that is where I started. So my bathroom is reasonably well organized at this point. We're going to have to wait and see how long that lasts, because as I'm sure you all know, because I have told you this, I have even shown you pictures. I am terrible when it comes to keeping my bathroom countertop clean and organized. I'm just a hopeless case. But the bedroom is usually a little easier for me to deal with, mostly because I never let it get too crazy out of hand to begin with, because I like having a reasonably clean, reasonably organized bedroom. So I don't know what it is about that. It can be very difficult for me to fall asleep in a room that is in chaos. I'll have to get up and organize it. Maybe that's what's going on. But I thought we would talk for a minute about how to approach cleaning and organizing a bedroom, because it's been on my mind, because that's what I've been doing lately. And you can apply this to any room in your house. The principles are the same. Doesn't matter. Just whatever room it is. Start by looking at what you do there, and therefore what you need there. What do you do in your bedroom besides, sleep and other things that are none of my business? And I'm not going to inquire, thank you very much. A lot of people dress in their bedrooms. Not everyone. A lot of people dress in their bathrooms. I have even known people, because I have known some serious clothes horses in my time, who kept a separate bedroom that was, in effect, a giant walk-in closet. And that's where they got dressed. But if you are getting dressed and, fixing your hair and your makeup and whatever else you might be doing as part of that getting ready process, if that's something you do in your bedroom, then add it to the list. Sleeping, whatever naughty stuff you don't want to share with me, and I'm not asking you to, getting dressed, getting made up. Other people really like to retreat to their bedrooms, to read, to watch television, to spend time on the computer. Whatever it is you do, if you're doing it in your bedroom, that needs to be your starting position. So, sleeping in there, you need a bed. Most of us have beds. I was going to say we've all got a bed. Not necessarily. There are all kinds of things you can sleep on. There are people who sleep on futons. There are people who sleep on pull-out sofas. There are people who are in studio apartments. For my friends in the UK, I believe you call them bed sits. It's like one giant room that does everything for you. And they might have a Murphy bed or a day bed or something like that. So, judgment-free zone. Sleep on the floor if you want to. I do not care. But if you're sleeping, you have to have that sleeping spot. If you like to read, maybe you like to read in bed, but in fact, not everybody likes to do that. You might need a chair, a table, a lamp in there. If you like to work on your computer, you might need a desk. But, you might have a laptop. You might be doing all this in bed. You might be taking that laptop into the bathroom. I guess the whole point is how you organize your space is your business. Fine with me. And I'm not trying to tell you what you should or should not do in whatever space you're dealing with. But just look at the things that you are doing in this space before you start cleaning and organizing, because that is immediately going to give you two categories that you can work with. One, things you do in the bedroom. In other words, things you need in your bedroom, and things you don't do in your bedroom. The other category being things that don't need to be there. And that's the first, it's like your opening move in the organizational chess game. Do I need this? Should it be here? Do I not need it? Should it be somewhere else? And that somewhere else could very well be just another room in your house, but it could be the donation box, it could be the trash can. Whatever you see fit. And when you start to look at this, for example, if you get dressed in your bedroom, obviously you need a closet, you need a dresser, a wardrobe, something to hold your clothing. Pretty obvious, most of us have that because most homes today are built with closets. Older homes, not necessarily. So if you're getting dressed in your bedroom, in addition to everything else you might need for sleeping and whatever else you're doing, you need clothing storage in there. And other people, of course, are looking at, well, I get dressed there, but I also do my makeup there. And these are people who might want something like a vanity table. Well, actually, I consider vanity table to be a bit of a redundancy. A vanity is a table, a dressing table, a vanity, some area where you can spread out, keep your cosmetics and your hair stuff and whatever. Usually they come with a mirror. Interestingly enough, just a total digression. Interestingly enough, there was a time when almost every bedroom that housed a woman, even if this woman was part of a couple and it was a husband-wife bedroom, did have a vanity table. This was where the lady of the house would be doing her makeup and her hairstyling and whatever. Another interesting fact that I guess you notice this if you look at a lot of vintage photos and drawings of bedrooms. It's for some reason those vanity tables tended to be located directly in front of a window. I never quite figured out why that was, but I would see pictures over and over and over again of that vanity table right in front of the window. Next to the window makes sense because, lighting is much better now than it was back in the day. They would need a lot of daylight to rely on to do makeup or hair, etc. But right in front of the window seems a little counterproductive to me because right in front of the window, the vanity would block a lot of that incoming light. And the other light that's coming in around the vanity, I would find distracting. I would find that to be too much light. But by the way, I also have started to see pictures, and here's one from Architectural Digest. That's becoming a thing again now. We are looking at putting vanities in that very same spot that people were using for their vanity 100 years ago. Who would have thought? If this is something you do in your bedroom, then your cosmetics belong in your bedroom. Your perfumes, your makeup, your hair tools, whatever. If that's something you're doing in your bedroom, this is where those things should be. Fair enough. I do have to throw this out, another little tiny digression. I do not. I do all that sort of thing in the bathroom. Nevertheless, when I go in and look at my dresser, I do, in fact, have a bunch of perfume on my dresser. It's on a tray. Never put perfume bottles directly on a wood surface because there's alcohol in the perfume bottles and that will eat away the finish of the wood. Just saying. But yeah, so that is something that as I'm talking about it to you, I realize there's a flaw in my own organizational system because I should have moved that stuff out. It's not where I use it, so why is it there? But that whole process of I'm not using it in my bedroom, I need to put it where I use it, that is very illustrative of the process of organizing your space. Are you using it in this room? If you are not using it in this room, why is it there? You know, I can probably justify keeping perfume bottles on my dresser because they're so pretty, so they're decorative elements. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But I really should put that in the bathroom because that's where I get ready in the morning. So you can eliminate a lot of things that are cluttering your space just by asking yourself, is this where I am using this item? Is this therefore not the best place for it? Bang, it goes into a box, heads to the bathroom, or wherever else it is that you do things like that. I have had some very strange things in my bedroom, things that actually belong like in the tool shed or something. And yeah, but we all do. The fact is that many of us will look at our space and say, I have no idea how this got here. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I need an electric drill in my bedroom? But I need to move it out at long last. That's the beginnings of the organization. And every space is very much like this. And in some spaces, it just plain makes sense. Like, okay, kitchen. I know people who keep cookbooks in their kitchen. And they are probably thinking, but I use them to cook in my kitchen. I would say, no, that's a very bad idea, because a kitchen is an area where there is a lot of moisture, a lot of grease cooking, just the grease particles that get into the air from cooking. It is a terrible place to leave books. So I can understand the other people who will say, I do not want my cookbooks in my kitchen because over time they are going to become dirty, they are going to become grease spotted. I need my cookbooks somewhere else. But that might very well be another factor you will want to look at when you are considering where you need to locate the items that you see in your bedroom, in your kitchen, in your living room. Yes, you want them accessible. You want them in the room in which you are using them, but you don't want them in an unsafe situation, either unsafe for you or unsafe for your items. So the idea of, for example, bringing the coat tree from the hall into your bedroom is probably not a good idea. Leave it in the hall. That's where it belongs. But we can still tease out some relationship between the stuff and the room in which the stuff is located. So, as I say, that is sort of number one. Just what belongs here, what doesn't, That sort of, one of these things is not like the other game we used to play when we were kids. If you do a lot of mental activities, if you read, if you watch TV, if you do crossword puzzles, if you do jigsaw puzzles, and you're doing them in your bedroom, then the next thing is lighting. So any stray lamps you might have hanging around in other parts of the house might actually be better off in your bedroom. If you read in your bedroom, do you have a chair, a designated reading corner, or do you have to get up every time you want to sit down with a book, go in and pull a dining room chair out and bring it into your bedroom where you're not especially comfortable, and, the dining room chair isn't where it's supposed to be anyway? If you read in bed? Do you have enough pillows to make yourself comfortable? My bedroom has far too many pillows because I keep them for a cat. I really do. I have, at this moment, 8 pillows on my bed. They are so that a cat can be comfortable wherever he parks his butt on the bed. I need to be ashamed of myself absolutely for this because I am humoring a cat. A cat who is currently gloating because he is winning the cat food wars. I need to keep that in mind too. You might actually need those 8 pillows. If you are someone who reads in bed and you have a partner who also reads in that same bed, 8 pillows might actually make a great deal of sense for you. In which case, you shouldn't be looking to move those pillows out, but I should. So again, it's not one size fits all. Your usage of your space will dictate this. So once you've gotten your head wrapped around that and you start going through, you don't need to pick up a single item initially. Just look around. Is everything that is in your line of sight something that belongs in this space? Is it? Another thing to look at is, are there things in your space that are there for no better reason than, well, I always kept this in my bedroom? A lot of us are like that. So look around. Are there things that should be moved to another location where you will actually use them? Are there things, and this is a tricky one, are there things that are in your bedroom that don't really serve a purpose? They're just decorative. The reason I say this is tricky is because we're entitled to have decorative items in our bedrooms. We are entitled to have decorative items wherever we want them. There is no rule that says you can't do this. But if you're looking at having a space that is easy to keep clean, easy to organize, and looks clean and neat and well organized, that's when it pays to look at those purely decorative items and ask yourself, would this maybe be a spot that is better suited to an item I can use instead of an item that's just a dust catcher here? Let me give you an example. We were talking about this when I said if you read or do jigsaw puzzles or watch TV, you might want extra lighting. If you have vases and sculpture in your bedroom, that is something that could very easily be swapped out for a lamp. Lamps are lovely. That is a beautiful Art Deco lamp, lovely floor lamp. And oh yes, those of you who've been with this channel for a while know that I can go on for a long time about lamps. That's a great piece. It's very, very easy to get a lamp that is extremely decorative, particularly if you happen to like vintage lamps. Go to a thrift store. You'd be amazed at some of the stuff you can find there. And you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can take out the dust-catching vase that you never put flowers in. It's just there because it's so pretty, and you've always had it there. Change it out for a lamp. By the way, while I say this, I hope you notice where it was. There. There we go. There we go. I think I targeted it. I have a little cluster of 3. These are 3 rose medallion vases. You know what they do? They catch dust. That is all they do. But, like I say, you're allowed to have decorative items in your space. Am I going to get rid of them? No. Also, I have 5 5 lamps in this room. So it's not like I'm going to switch them out for another lamp. Yeah, 5. So, no, I'm not switching them out for another lamp. Would I like to? Oh, sure. You know, I've got a weakness for lamps. But they're going to stay. But when you start looking at the space you're organizing, look at things like this. If I were really determined to keep those vases and also avoid having to dust this stuff all the time, I would probably be better off popping them into a glass-doored cabinet. Just saying. Am I going to do that? Not anytime soon. I know I say this while I've got a glass-doored cabinet right behind me. All of this is trade-offs. No one should have to feel like they are living in an institutional environment where there is no personality, there's nothing of yours. You can't have that stupid wall clock with the cat with the swinging tail. Of course you can. You can have a lava lamp if you want. Your house, your space. But when we start to look at cleaning and organizing, those are the things that we should look at first. Do they belong? Are they serving a purpose? And if they're not, then they're good candidates for removal and putting something that is useful in that space instead. However, that doesn't mean you have to do it. Of course, you can keep your lava lamp or your cat clock with the swinging tail. Of course you can. Why would I? Oh gosh. I have a little Audie cat up in one of those vases. I'm sure you must be able to see it. It's just a little Halloween trinket I picked up. I always pick up little Halloween trinkets, you know, for Audie. Well, I say for Audie, but I'm the one that put it there. I will pick things like that up. I will keep it until eventually I get bored with it, and then I'll move it somewhere else or get rid of it. It's okay. I paid $1 for it. I can throw it away. It's not going to be a disaster if I do so. So that is just the general approach we need to be taking. What are we doing in our space? Are the things that are in our space related to what we're doing in our space? I need to go in and probably take at least some of those perfume bottles out of my bedroom. I really do. Yeah, I know I said I was going to keep them as decorative objects, but I shouldn't, because the truth is that is taking a significant chunk of my perfume collection, you know, and I wear my perfumes. It's taking it out of my line of sight, limited though that may be, when I'm getting ready. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm in the bathroom and I have another batch of perfumes in there. Those are the ones I'm using because they are right in front of me. So I'm not doing myself any favor by keeping half my perfume collection in another room. It should be in the bathroom. That's where I will see it, where I will pick it up, where I will use it. And I should really take a good hard look at that. But not right now because I'm too pleased with that nice cleaned off bathroom countertop. And yeah, maybe later. And you got to know I'm going to mess it up anyway, so I might as well consider that. But that's a change I should be making. One of the changes that I'm not going to make in there is I'm still going to leave my jewelry in that area on my dresser where it's very easily accessible, because although I get ready in the bathroom, I always go back into the bedroom for finishing touches, because that's where my clothing is. Going to get a scarf, going to get a necklace. I do that in my bedroom, so those things can stay. But when I forced myself to think about it, what am I doing here? Why am I doing it? Should I be moving these things somewhere else where it's more convenient and I can have what I need when I need it? It all falls into place. And by the way, when I finished with the bedroom and the bathroom, I ended up with 2 relatively small boxes. I will say I'm proud of myself for that. It wasn't a lot, but 2 boxes. They're probably about, 10 by 12 by 6 of stuff that I have to either, relocate. Well, I have to relocate them, not either. They have to be relocated. They need to go into other rooms. They need to be donated. They need to be thrown away. What they need not to do is go back into the room I took them from, because I took them from the room for a reason. And that is probably one of the biggest takeaways I hope you get from this. When you are pulling things out, do not give in to the temptation to put them back. And I know how tempting it is, because I got 2 boxes that are sitting across the room from me right now, and they are just taunting me. It's like, you should put us back. We belong in the bedroom. We belong in the bathroom. It's like, no, they don't. They belong somewhere else. And if I do not have a convenient spot for them somewhere else, they are going to have to go. No matter how cute I think they are, no matter how long I've been keeping them in my space, because it's not working for me. So I thought that would be where we would start. Let me know in the comments. First of all, Miskatonic, what bells are that ringing for you? Next, what do you do when you are organizing? Do you get ready in your bedroom or in your bathroom? Do you have problems if you are a bathroom getting ready person, as frankly I am in the mornings? Is it a strain for you to have to go back and forth between the bathroom and the bedroom for your clothing? Or do you do what I do, which is, like get ready in the bathroom with the cleaning and the whatever, and then go in and get dressed in the bedroom? Is that how you do it? Do you do it the other way around? Do you have no pattern whatsoever to how you do it? And once again, leave it in the comments, because we are all learning from each other. Everybody has their own little tips and tricks. All right, that is what I have for you today. Thank you for being with us. As always, very nice to have you. We are going to take a look at a slideshow on the way out. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. I have to go get my bad cat and let him in, because while I've been filming this, it started to get dark, and he does not have a little flasher on his collar. So I need my black cat indoors where I can feel safe that he's not going to get hit by a car. All right. Thanks for being with us. Hope to see you tomorrow. In the meanwhile, have a terrific day.